Welcome back to the mat and welcome to chair yoga. Sitting up straight on your chair, press your sit bones down into the floor and stretch from your hips to under your armpits. And then invite your shoulder blades onto your back. Visualize your shoulder blades and visualize them as being maps of Africa. And down at the bottom of the map of Africa, we've got Cape Town. So bring the two Cape Towns closer together. So this allows your collarbones to broaden across here, and it enables you to fill up your lungs with air. So yoga is a science and a philosophy, and it underpins any other beliefs that you might have. But the whole key to yoga is around your breath. Okay, so we move our muscles, we move our joints and our tendons and ligaments, but we can't do any of that unless we're breathing in with every single movement that we make. So what's the whole point in this breathing? The whole point in this breathing is it kickstarts our parasympathetic nervous system, and parasympathetic nervous system enables us to relax, release, and let go. And in this day and age, we live with continual stress, even though we don't realize it. So where's the stress come from? It's coming from things we hear in the news. It's coming from this whole coronavirus thing here. It comes from worries about our families and so on. So back in the day when we used to live in caves, we had access to stress, which gave us an adrenaline spurt, which made us able to run away from that wolf or that lion that was coming to attack us. These days, we get the constant spurts of adrenaline, but it impacts very badly on our bodies. Stress is a big killer, and this is the number one thing that causes cancers, heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Stress is the number one, the main proponent of all of those. So how do we, even though we think we live on stress lives, in that maybe we're no longer working or whatever, other things are stressing us out. And a lot of it has got to do with the media. A lot of us has got to do with living separate from family, not being able to contact and be in close communication with family. And so it sits in our bodies. And when we breathe, when we get used to the whole point of yoga, which is about the breath, about the pranayama, that dissolves the stress. And the more we do it, the more then we learn to live in our parasympathetic nervous system rather than our sympathetic nervous system. So that's the whole point of breath and breathing. And you'll hear me constantly working on it throughout our practice. And if I'm saying inhale and you're on exhale, don't you worry about it, just so long as you're breathing, okay? Don't make it something to fuss about. So keeping that in mind, we're going to get straight into it. Stretch your legs out in front of you and turn your heels up. And just clear space here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. This morning we're working on the sequential opening of all of our joints, from our toes right up to the top of our head. So begin to move your toes forward and back. If you haven't got your socks off, I suggest you take them off, because there'll be a couple of things we'll be doing where you'll need access to separate toes. And you move and inhale as you curl your toes away from you, exhale, bring them back. Just practice that. As you inhale, you're bringing energy into your body. As you exhale, you're relaxing, you're releasing and letting go. So inhale, curl your toes in, exhale, loosen them out, relax, let go. Do 8 more of those, moving with your breath. Remembering to sit up straight, not to slump your back. Yeah, it's very easy to get back into slump stage. Make that your last one. And now we're moving into ankle bending. So place your feet on the floor under your knees. If it's available to you, lift your right foot and place it on top of your left knee. If that's not available to you, stretch your left leg out. So wherever you are, if you can get it rested on your knee, that would be really good. So we're into ankle bending. So you're going to stretch your toes away from you and draw them back towards you. So inhale, stretch away. Exhale, draw them back. Do 9 more of those. Moving with your breath, trying to sit up straight. As you move your ankles, you should even feel your muscle on your calf contracting and releasing as you're doing that. But we're working at the minute, we've worked from the toe joints now to the ankle joint. And make that your last one and come back to a place of stillness. And then switch to the other side. Lift your left foot and bring it and place it on top of your other knee, if that's available. If you want to stretch the leg out, stretch the leg out. If you had a stool, you could put your other foot up on a stool so your leg wouldn't be quite as high. There's a whole lot of ways of working with this. Yeah. So inhale, stretch your, point your toes towards you. Inhale, exhale, bring them back. Are you still sitting up straight? Last 2. And release. Switch over to the other side again, and we're into ankle cranking. So lift your right foot, place it on top of your left knee. If it's available for you, take your fingers and thread them between your toes. May not be available for you, but you're working on the joints of your toes, and then move your ankle around in a circle. So inhale in one direction, exhale in the other direction. If you can't thread your fingers between your toes, just simply hold your foot and do it like that. But threading your fingers between your toes gets into the joints of your toes. It wakens them up, it creates space. It helps your balance as you get older. Your toes become very inanimate. And when we're born, our toes are very much like our fingers. They have as much ability as our fingers, but lack of use makes them less and less, and particularly when they're cramped in boots and shoes all our lives. So people would say, or yogis would say, if you want to improve your balance, if you want to lessen your risk of falling over as you get older, walk about your house in your bare feet. Obviously, if you suffer from diabetes, that's not recommended, but in other occasions. So 3 more, and notice if you're still breathing. It's just your ankle that's moving, it's nothing else. And I don't know if you've managed to thread your fingers through, because it can be very painful first or second time you do it, but you get used to it. And now go back the other way. If it's too painful for you, because I know some of you have had hip stuff going on, you could also do this exercise by stretching your leg out on the floor and moving your ankle in one direction and moving it in the other direction. rather than bring it and lifting it and crossing your knee. Last 3. And release and switch to the other side. Feel, if you've had your fingers between your toes, just notice what that feels like. Yeah, it can be quite pleasant or a relief. And then lift your left foot and bring the outside edge of it on top of your right knee. And then clasp or thread your fingers between your toes. You can see clearly what I'm doing. Yeah. And we're into ankle cranking again. So inhale and exhale as you, from one side of the circle to the other. So every night when we go to bed, our connective tissue lays down fascia. And fascia is a bit like that kind of stringy white stuff that you see on meat. And over the years, as we get older, that fascia builds up, particularly in our joints. And the more we don't move them, the more the fascia builds until it sets like concrete. But it's completely possible to break that all down through movement. So the whole key to us getting older, to stop us from getting stiff, is to keep moving and to move every bit of our body, not just go for a walk or the minimal amount of exercise that we're doing. So 3 more rounds. It's easy to go out and do a bit of gardening or do a bit of walking or what have you, but to focus on every joint in your body, this little practice here, to start with your toes and working all the way up your body, will keep you very much more looser, pain-free, help your balance, cut down on that whole stiffness. And you keep it up, you can take the health of your body back at least 20 to 25 years, but it is a daily practice. And release, and moving into knee bending. So sitting back a little bit on your chair, interlace your hands under your right knee, lift it up, and lift your foot up so that your shin is parallel to the ceiling, flex and point it, exhale and let it down, bring your heel back to your buttock or towards the seat of your chair. Inhale, reach up, move with your breath, exhale, sink down, moving with the breath, remembering what I said with the breath. And switch to the other side. Put that leg back on the floor and lift your left knee up. Bring it high up to your chest. Inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, lift it down, let it down. You're holding with both arms, hands. You're sitting up straight. You're inviting your shoulder blades onto your back. You're moving with your breath. And release and let go, and moving into half butterfly bounce. You're lifting your right foot and you're placing top across your left knee. If you're having problems, you could stretch your leg out like I am. If your knee is too high with your heel under your knee, stretch it out like that. Okay, keeping that. Place your right hand on top of your right knee. Press it down, inhale. Breathe out, let it up, relax it. So you're pressing down into your knee and you're letting it back up. You could call it a bounce, but it's a slow bounce. Just release it. Press down with your sit bones into the floor or into the seat of your chair. You should be listening to yourself breathing. And just as a reminder, we do breathe in and out through our nostrils as opposed to an open mouth. And gently release and switch over onto the other side. Lift your left foot, place the outside edge of your left foot on top of your right knee. And then inhale, press down into your left knee, exhale, release it up. Listen to yourself breathing. So we're working on our knee and our hip here, really. Mostly our hip. Our body moves with our breath. So we inhale, we push. We exhale, we release. And the whole thing slows down. And release. And hip joint rotation. Catch your right foot with your left hand and place your right hand on top of your right knee. So you've got the opposite hand on the opposite foot. And then start to rotate your hip. Patty, just be careful with this. Just go wherever works for you, yeah? Inhale, exhale. So we're getting the hip joint is the biggest joint in your body. And so a lot of stress is stored in the biggest joints. A lot of fascia is put down. And by moving it, we move stress on out of our bodies. We don't hold it, we don't store it up. And gently release and switch to the other side. Lift your left leg across your knee, opposite hand to opposite foot, left hand to left knee. And then you're making a circle with your knee is really what you're doing. And you're getting deep into your hip. And then go back the other way. And I just realized we didn't go back the other way on the other leg, so we'll go back over to the other leg in a minute and go back the other way. And release. And the last one for our upper body is come and stand up. And stand by your chair. Separate your feet hip width apart. Bend your knees, keep your back straight and sink down. So knees hip width apart or wider, turn the toes out slightly. Sink down, use a wall or something to hold on to, just sink down. And exhale, come back up. Inhale, sink down. Exhale, come back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So we're getting deep into the hip. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 5 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And just give yourself a bit of a all over shake. Just shake out stuff in your lower body. Yeah, any way you like, just shake it out. Okay, and come and sit down. We're coming into hand clenching. Lift your arms out in front of you and invite the head of the arm bone back into the socket. So instead of this, you're doing this. You're inviting the head of the arm bones back into the sockets. You're visualize the maps of Africa on your back. Bring the 2 Cape Towns closer together so you're broad across your collarbones. Yeah. Now turn your thumbs in and wrap your fingers around them. Okay, keep that and then open them out. We're working on our fingers now. Inhale, exhale. Move with your breath. Arms straight, arms still, so only your hands moving. Three more. Arms still. Only hands and fingers are moving. Okay, and holding that. Wrist bending now. Stretch your fingers out. Turn your fingers down. Inhale, stretch them up. Keep the fingers straight. Keep the arms engaged, nice and straight. Move with your breath. And release, just release your arms down, give yourself a rest for a minute. It's kind of hard exercise, working on the shoulders, the arms, but mostly the fingers and the joints of the wrists. So wrist rotation, arms out in front again. Make fists and turn your fingers in or turn your thumb in and rotate your wrists towards each other. Arms straight. And it's just the wrists that are moving, not the whole arm. So you just focus on moving your wrists. This is what the whole arm looks like moving, okay? This is what the wrists look like moving. Elbows still. Go back the other way. And release. Place your hands on your thighs and just rest. Now notice the sensations. Notice the sensations in your toes, your ankles, your knees. Visualize the breakup of the fascia in these areas. Just breathe into your toes, breathe into your ankles. It's a funny kind of a thing to say, to breathe into an area of your body, but bringing that focus to it enables the fascia to dissolve and break down and soften. Move to your hips. Move to your move to your fingers, your wrists. And we're moving now to our elbows, and yeah. Okay, so arms out in front, make fists of your fingers, turn your thumb in, and inhale, bring your wrists in, exhale, stretch them out. Moving with your breath. And release. And now bring your arms out to the sides. Make fists of your hands again, and moving with your breath again. Inhale. Notice where you're breathing into. Are you breathing into your upper chest, or are you breathing into your lower abdominal area? And release. And just notice the tingling in your shoulders and in your elbows. From here, we're moving into shoulder circles. So as best you can, and some of you I know have tight shoulders, so bringing, just, what is it? Hang on a minute, I have to check it out. I've forgotten it. Oh yeah, okay. Bring your hands to the top of your shoulders. So your arms out in front, and bring your hands to the top of your shoulders. Yeah, okay. And circle them backwards. Endeavoring to bring your elbows together in front. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, so your hands are on your shoulders. Exhale. And now we're coming back to the middle and going in the opposite direction. Inhale. And release. And just lay your hands on your thighs and just rest. Turn in. Bring your awareness to your breath. Make your way to standing and just have the chair beside you so you can hold it if you need to. So feet inner hip width apart. That's kind of double fist width, yeah. And so practicing good stance, pressing down equally with the four corners of your feet into the floor. So that's the big toe mound, the inner heel, the little toe mound, and the outer heel. Press those four corners down. See if you can lift your toes off the floor. Turn your toes up, keeping the four corners of your feet pressed down. Good, keep that. Lower your toes down one by one, if that's available to you. Keep that. Squeeze your shins in. Squeeze your inner thighs from your knees to your inner thighs, so your inner hamstrings, yeah? At the end of your spine, you have a little tailbone. Visualize that heading for the floor. Just bring your awareness to it. Engage your core. And engage, you know, back in the 70s, back in the day, when most girls used to lie on a bed and we'd zip up our trousers. That little thing that we did with our belly to get the zip up, that's what I'm engaging. Now, it's not the grip of death, yeah? It's just slightly engaged. Stretch from your hips to your armpits. Make the sides of your body long. Invite your shoulder blades together on your back, yeah? Broaden across your collarbones. Stretch your arms down, stretch fingers down. Be as tall as you can. So visualize spaces coming between the vertebrae of your spine. Move your ears back. Visualize a thread coming out of your head and pulling you up. So you're rooting down, but you're stretching up, yeah? Bring your awareness to your breath. So you're engaging most muscles in your body. You're hugging the muscles to the bone, on your arms, on your legs, across your body, your core. You're tightening your glutes, just slightly grip them, which is your big buttock muscles here. But again, it's not the grip of that. So you're working with every muscle group in your body. People might say you're standing here doing nothing, but in actual fact, you have every muscle group engaged. Stretch your arms down, stretch fingers down, but not as if you were carrying two heavy suitcases. So everything else is going up and you're stretching your arms down. Okay. Lift your arms overhead, interlace your fingers, point your index finger. If that's not available to you, if it's just too much for you, just bring your hand across the top of your head and hold an elbow, yeah? And then move your hips to the right, your torso to the left, be as sideways as possible. Inhale, come back up, or exhale, come back up, inhale to the other side. So like a swaying tree. Lift your chin out of your chest, keep your feet firmly rooted. So the trunk of the tree never moves, it's only your upper body. Inhale, going as far over as you can, be as sideways as possible. Don't rush it, exhale to the other side. Inhale, come back up. If taking your time in it means you get the full benefit of the crescent shape. So so as I go to the right, every muscle on the left-hand side has been stretched. If we do it quickly, it doesn't give the muscles time to stretch. Engage your core. Keep stretching your arms up, moving your arms into the back plane. See if you can brush your arms off your ears. Last one. And release your arms down. Whew. Yeah, just feeling it all over in our body. So moving into goddess pose. Step your feet wider apart. You might want to hold a chair. You can put your hands on your hips, or you can stretch your arms out, turn your palms forward. My elbows are in line with my shoulders, yeah? So yogi's choice, here, here, or here. And then bend your knees Sink down, keep your back straight. Broaden across your collarbones. Push down with your sit bones into the floor. And just hold it. And breathe. Every time we hold our breath in life, we're stuck and the stress builds. If you think an athlete about to set off on a big 100-meter sprint, you know, he really takes deep breaths and then he holds it and he has this explosive energy, enabling you to, that explosive energy comes from the adrenaline, as we as cave people ran away from saber-toothed tigers and things. So if you're breathing, you're dissolving your stress. 7, 8, 9. If you can lower down a little bit more for the last one. 10, press down and stand up. Yeah. And keeping that, if you want to step your feet a little bit wider, and you're just in a star shape. That's all. So it's wider than is comfortable for you, than you'd normally do it, yeah? And then in the star shape, squeeze your inner thighs together, your inner shins, engage this, like I told you about the trousers, engage your arms, yeah? Stretch your fingers away from you, move your ears back, broaden across your collarbones. Notice if you're holding your breath. And release. And I'm just going to check the time. Yeah, we better bring it to a close. Okay, come back onto your chair. You'll be relieved to hear. And for the last one, we're just going to do a couple of forward stretches. So sitting up on your chair, feet hip width apart. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. And just hang here for a moment. Keep breathing. Should feel like a nice stretch. Inhale, come back up. And our last one is our neck. So visualize a pencil on your head and you're making small circles with your head drawing on the ceiling. So start in any direction and then gradually make those circles bigger. And do 5 in one direction. So your ear comes to your shoulder. Don't move your shoulder up to your ear. Your head goes back, look up at the ceiling. Your ear comes to your other shoulder. Your chin comes to your chest. And do 4 more rounds of that in one direction. Breathing out as in one direction, exhaling back to center. And should be the loveliest movement of your neck. Enjoyable. Don't do it too quickly because it'll make you dizzy. Moving with your breath. And now back in the other direction. Lovely circles you're drawing with your pencil on the ceiling. And come back to center. And we'll close now with just 5 minutes sitting and bringing awareness to our breath. So you can lie down if you have a mat and you want to put a blanket over you. You can do that, or just sit on a chair and be comfortable. So close your eyes, turn your attention inwards, and bring your awareness to your body. And you're focusing on staying present. And the way to stay present is to stay with your breath. No To finish, we'll just take 3 deep breaths into our abdomen. Exhale and inhale. Make the out breath even longer than the inhale. And twice more. Thanks for practicing. Thanks for coming to practice, and see you on the mat.